Good afternoon. Well, I guess it's still morning here. So good morning and welcome to the Matt and Alecia Show, where I, myself, Matthew Lindsay, and Alecia Lindsay come together every week to bring to you insight into our marriage, our relationship, and our business. I'm excited to be here today. Are you, Alecia?
Yes.
So we're here with Precision Home Group, and this show is really dedicated to people looking to, maybe they're starting off in a relationship. Maybe they've been married for many, many years, and they just want insight into how we work our relationship and our business together, because we just have one aligned life. So it's for all those people and in between. So today we wanted to talk to you guys about things we knew before marriage. We wanted to talk about things we wish we knew before marriage, right? Mm-hmm. So, Alecia, we talked about 3 different kind of items that we wanted to cover today. Why don't you take us away with the first one?
Yeah, so the first one is communication. So we want to talk about communicating and how we can do that in the best way possible. And that wasn't something that not all of us were taught how to communicate and communicate well. We've been told to communicate until the other person hears you and not necessarily to hear the other person back. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So really just acknowledging somebody. Mm-hmm. So you speak to me, you give me something, whether I'm in the kitchen, I'm on the couch, whether I'm at my desk, you really want to be heard. Mm-hmm. You want to be acknowledged that, hey, I heard what you said and I'm giving that back to you. Otherwise, you know what happens is Alecia tells me, she just speaks to me, whether it's something in the office, at home, and if she doesn't feel like I heard her or acknowledged her, she's going to keep saying that, keep saying that, and keep saying that.
And same thing with Matt. Like, if he doesn't think that I heard him about getting calzones for lunch today, then he's going to keep telling me about those calzones he wants and how delicious they will be.
They're going to be delicious.
So, very important stuff here.
And so, I mean, that's just basic communication. Acknowledge the other person. Make sure they know that they were heard and that you accepted that communication. And then give that back. So basic communication here is just acknowledge, but even deeper than that, communication is such a broad goal, such a broad topic, if you will. Before marriage, I was very introverted. I just believed in this label that I was introvert. I didn't need to talk. I didn't need to give out anything. I didn't need to extrovert myself with other people or even Alecia. And so, opening up and conversation and stuff like that, I wasn't communicating to her everything there was to know about me. I was keeping stuff in, not intentionally, not in a way to hide anything. I just wasn't that type of person who would just lay it out all on the line. I mean, is that truly what happened?
Yeah, I think we both had an element of this where we thought that vulnerability meant weakness, and therefore you can't see that I am weak. And so we would just we weren't trying to hide anything. We just weren't willing to share certain parts of ourselves, like I need help with this today, or I'm having a hard time with this today. And being open with those things have been very, very helpful for us.
Yeah, and so what that really goes into, what I want to lead us down here is without being, it's not that we weren't being honest with each other. It wasn't anything to do with that. We were open, we were honest, we believed in each other, we loved each other. But we also had other intentions, counter intentions. We had goals that we wanted to accomplish. We had things that we wanted to do. But like Alecia was saying, we didn't express those either because we were fearful of them, we didn't 100% believe in them, or whatever the case is. So for us to get on the same page where we are today, where we want to go to the same thing, we want to build these companies, we want to live one big life, and all the goals we want to accomplish, we're pushing each other towards that. Whereas when we first started, Alecia wanted to do something else. I wanted to do something totally different. I wanted to be a wildland firefighter. I wanted to work in the woods for 9 months out of the year and see her 2 days a month.
Which is a great plan if you want a long, healthy marriage. It's totally not. So, yeah, we've been...
And what did you want to do?
I wanted to be a fashion photographer. So I went to Los Angeles, which was clearly where the fires were not. So we have obviously been through a lot of stuff that's been really hard for us. Like, Matt felt like he was giving up his career. I felt like I was giving up my career. And we had to figure out what was more important. Was this relationship more important, or was you know, like winning my argument more important to us.
So to bring this communication thing home, you know, what we really did at the end of the day, it was clearly defining our goals in life, what we wanted to do, where we wanted to go together from the get-go, so that we can be on the same page. Mm-hmm. You know, so with that, communication is really just opening up to the other person. And had we known this before we got married, I guarantee you that we would have had, it would have taken us less time to get where we are today.
Right.
And a lot less heartache.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, I mean, Alecia and I, we have a great marriage. I love her so much. But there was some times when we were just like, not that we weren't going anywhere, but just that, you know, we had a struggle with, hey, I want to do this, you want to do this, and we're pulling each other kind of back and forth.
It was a big identity struggle for both of us. Like,
exactly.
We're like, we are the thing that we do, and therefore if I don't have that thing, then I'm not a person, and I'm not, you know, like, I'm not happy. So it's like an identity in being married, an identity in having a business, identity, whatever that thing is for you. Once that thing is taken away, like, what do you have left? So you have to not do
communicate.
That.
So number one thing is communication. The number two thing that we wish we'd known, it's kind of more of a myth, really, is...
It's back and forth.
Yeah. You know, we were told from day one of marriage, oh, you guys are just in the honeymoon stage. You guys, you know, you guys love each other. You guys are great. Mm-hmm. You guys are happy. Mm-hmm. You know, here after the honeymoon stage, you guys are going to hate each other.
Suck.
Marriage is going to, you're going to want to go drink a beer at night. She's going to want to go home, be with her girlfriends, and you guys won't want anything to do with each other. You guys are just in the honeymoon stage.
I will say we don't have children, so we haven't done that whole thing yet.
Yeah.
However, I think it's a space that you allow to grow between you and your spouse. It's communication, it's lifestyle, it's not being on the same page.
Yep.
So like,
you know, I was told by somebody when we, about a year after we got married, that your wife, your spouse can never be your best friend.
Who told you that?
Doesn't matter who it was, but I was literally told that. You know, so I wholeheartedly disagree. Alecia is my best friend in life. She's also my wife. She's also my business partner. Mm-hmm. You know, so with all of these things, she plays such a big role in my life, and I don't see that going anywhere, and I don't allow that to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. Because what you're saying is that this honeymoon stage is kind of ended when people start allowing things to become get in between that relationship. Right.
So like some of that is like, it could be like perceived as like reality setting in, like, mm-hmm. Oh, it's not like this fanciful love story, like it's not a happily ever after and things start getting hard. Things will get hard, but then they'll get better. Yep. But only if you work through them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And consistently work on that. Just like your business, you work on that every day. Mm-hmm. Alecia and I work on our marriage every day. We're always looking, hey, how can we better ourselves? How can we have a deeper relationship? And do we have arguments? Do we have disagreements?
And
of course we do.
And how do you deal with those disagreements? Are you going to go tell so-and-so that your husband did X, Y, and Z? Or are you going to go to your husband and confront him about that thing? Sometimes I feel like certain people want to just like complain about things to other people about their problems and not confront them. And like I think we've all been guilty of doing that, but you have to confront the person who is actually involved in the thing and not just,
exactly.
You know, like call your mom, call your sister, call your dad, call your dog, talk about it. You just,
hide your kids, hide your wife.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
So that's number two. So number one was communication. The number two thing was, you know, that honeymoon phase, and we're calling that a myth. Number three thing is change and being good with it. So having change in your life and understanding that where you are when you first get married is not where you're going to be in the future. So understanding that, you know, two people can change and they can be okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And alongside that, like, yes. what he said. Sorry.
So what I mean by that, you know, and you can speak to this, and this kind of goes along with that first lesson that we're talking about, communication, is that change. So like we said, when I first got married with Alecia, I was a wildland firefighter. I was out there fighting fires, living in the woods, working seasonally. You know, I'm a different person today than when she married 5 years ago.
Right.
Alecia is a different woman today than she was 5 years ago when we got married.
Right.
And so what we're doing is we're changing over time, we're evolving, and that should be for the better. That should be the personal development that you put into yourself, into your marriage, into your life. And by doing that, you should be changing and evolving, getting better, pursuing bigger goals, and doing bigger things. And if you're on the same page, that change is good.
Yeah, so two things that kind of come up there is one, we had this moment at some point, like like Matt was like, you're not the person that I married, like you're doing all this stuff, like I don't know who you are anymore. And so basically what was happening was I was growing personally and developing personally, and Matt was just kind of like staying where he was. So
I was against it.
Yeah. he like,
I was like, books? Why would I read a book?
Yeah. And so like we had to come through that. We had to we have to grow together, and also like what Matt is now, that is my standard for love and beauty. Like Matt, like the way he looks now is what I love. And it's not like, oh, that guy, you know, I don't know, he's got bigger hair than you do. You know, whatever the thing is. That like the way I am now, Matt needs to love me the way I am now, even if I gain a gajillion pounds. He can tell you, hey honey, you need to lose some weight, but he still has to love me the way I am.
And then we'll go to the gym.
And then we'll go to the gym together.
So change is going to happen, understanding that, and understanding that it is a good thing and it should be a positive thing. So 3 things that we want to cover today, 3 things that we wish we knew before getting married, is honeymoon phase is a myth. It's a choice that you decide over the length of your marriage. Number 2 is that communication is paramount. And number 3, expect changes to happen and make them a positive change. So anything else you want to add before we let people go today?
That's it.
Okay, so thanks for joining today. Matt and Alecia Show. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and subscribe.